is a 10-minute speaker, a 10-minute coffee break, and then a main speaker. Tonight, our first speaker is Mary. Help me welcome Mary to the stage.
I could just faint. I don't make public talks. My name's Mary, and I'm an alcoholic. Trying to think where I was at when I first started drinking. I kind of grew up around alcohol. My dad liked to drink, and as far back as I can remember, he used to take myself and my sister to the honky-tonks and the bars with him. And I'd sit on the bar stool next to him and think I was a real big shot, drinking my Coke and eating my potato chips. And my mom never went in. She never drank as far back as I can remember. But Dad liked it quite a bit, and I grew up to like it quite a bit myself. I didn't actually start drinking, besides getting sips of my dad's beer and stuff when I was really young. I didn't really start drinking until I was about 17. I always felt like the kid that was looking in at everybody else, like I didn't belong. I was looking in through a window and watching everyone else have fun. And I felt separate, and I didn't get along with most people in school, and I wasn't the cheerleader type or anything like that. And I really just felt lost, and I felt like I didn't have many friends that really cared what happened to me or not. What happened to me was in the 7th grade, I was 17, and there was a party out in the woods somewhere, and a couple people invited me. And it was a beer party, naturally, and we had I ended up getting 3 beers. I didn't want to grow up to be like my brother. He was a raging alcoholic, very violent, and I swore I'd never grow up to be like him, but in the end I did. What happened at the party was I had good intentions of being a police officer, so I thought I don't want to do something that I'm going to have to arrest somebody else for. So what I did was I drank 1 beer, I spilled one, and I gave one away, and I started acting like I was drunk, and there it was. I fit in, and I started making friends, and they, oh, you're so cool, and you were so loaded, and I really wasn't, but I sure knew what the game was. When I really started blossoming as a heavy drinker was when I was bartending at a bowling alley, and basically it wasn't like a really popular bar. It just got the bowlers and stuff, but the story was that every job had benefits, and our job was to use them and abuse them. So we'd stay till 3 or 4 in the morning drinking booze. Sometimes we'd bowl all night and drink along with it. We just really, stole people's money and time from the company. I'm not proud of that, but that's the sort of alcoholic I was. I drove drunk many times, and when I first came into AA, I thought, I again felt different from other people. I was comparing my story to other people's story, and what happened was it didn't add up. Like there was the lady that might have been drinking vanilla out of her kitchen because her husband had taken all the booze away, and I would always think, when I get like that, I'll quit. And I had a lot of not yets that I was fortunate not to have any not yets, but I got into the program later in my life. My birthday date is June 1st, 2017. I have tried since I was 33 to get sober. I might get 7 or 8 years, and I'd go out again and for a weekend, and then I'd feel so guilty. I'd come back again and start over again. And people would always welcome me back. They didn't care how many times I stumbled and fell. They were always gracious, and I try to be gracious to the people like I was, and hopefully I won't be again, that have stumbled along the way. I don't believe it's a part of sobriety, but I do feel that it does happen, and that people have their own agenda and their own higher power. I had a really hard time finding my higher power because when I was a youth, I was molested by a priest, and it really turned me off from any kind of religion, and I didn't trust anyone, and it's the hardest thing I've been able to find, and it's finally happened for me, and I'm so grateful. In some of my steps, I've had to learn to forgive him as well as to forgive myself. Not that I accept his behavior in any manner, but that it's happened. I'm not going to deny that it happened, and it wasn't the right thing to happen. But holding a grudge against anyone like that, for whatever reason, eats away from me like cancer. And I had developed a mental illness at about age 33. That's when I was told that I should stop drinking by my psychiatrist because I was depressed and suicidal. And he told me that could I be honest with him if I picked up a drink and try not to drink to the best of my ability, because alcohol is a depressant and I was very depressed. So I said, sure, I can do that. That's no big deal. But the only thing was I wasn't planning on staying stopped. I thought I could stop and that would be enough for a while, and then I could start going again. That wasn't the way he wanted it, and after 3 strikes of coming back and telling me, he just said, that's the 3rd strike. You're going to go see an alcohol counselor. I had a lot of pride. I had a lot of ego that has since brought me down to my knees, that I'm no different than anybody else. I think it was more low self-esteem than high self-esteem, but however it came out. But for my life right now, I am so grateful. I have never had it so good in my life. I am able to go to places I didn't used to go. I do not go to bars. That's up to the individual what they want to do. But back when I started, back when I was 33, they used to say, if you keep going to the barber long enough, you're going to end up getting a haircut. So I just stay away from places like that for myself. But I've gone to baseball games by myself because my friends don't necessarily want to come. And I've done all kinds of things that I never had the courage to do, that I used to have to drink over to do. I was always looking for that liquid courage to make me someone that I wasn't. And, I mean, just like I said, to be able to stand up here and talk is, like, beyond amazing for me. I've never done it before, and it's really quite frightening. But let's see. I've had the most wonderful sponsors anyone could ever ask for. I could never name one sponsor that I really didn't value and that I didn't follow her direction as to the best of my ability at the time. I've done a couple 4th steps throughout my time that I've been trying to get sober, and I found out a lot about myself that I didn't know. I mean, I go to therapy still for the depression, but there's things in AA that has taught me that it's, for $1 or $2, and then you learn from other people, you can't beat it. It saved my life. I was so suicidal, I could not be trusted to walk across the road. And I spent 9 months in a mental hospital for suicidality, so you can imagine what bad shape I was in. But getting sober, relying on God, talking to other people, and having really good friends that care about me and that I care about them, my higher power has been my secret this time, and I think I'll stick with it. Thanks.